Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It's your good buddy Philtastic Phil here. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm in a seldom seen different corner of the room. We have some magic happening over here, but that's not what I'm talking about today. No. I am going to show off and do like a little mini review of what I've read recently. I'm going to give you a heads up. This is this was a very X-Men heavy read week for me. Read a couple weeks, to be honest with you. Let's clear that up. So rather than rate the X-Men titles individually, I'm going to just kind of give you my general thoughts, I guess you could say, on the Fall of X. And as you can see, I tried to read them in order. I was really far behind. A couple of variants in here too. Fall of X. Overall, and I should warn you if you haven't read this yet and you intend to, there's some spoilers. Overall, it was a very uneven ending, to be honest with you. It went from some great innovative things to some punches that didn't quite land. For example, I kind of got really confused how Orcus, out of nowhere, was just like, hey, our real plan all along was to just kill everybody. We just wanted the humans to be mad at the mutants. Cool cover on this one. In the end, unfortunately, it took a turn that the X-Men titles can't seem to escape from every decade or so. Xavier becomes a dickhead, for lack of a better word. That was cool, actually. Doom's mutants. I don't think that's not the first appearance of them, but it's a couple. And that's a nice cover, at least. I also thought Moira kind of flip-flopped a little bit too soon as well, so kind of like Moira and Xavier flipped. I didn't like the whole idea of Dominion, and I didn't like the whole thing with Phoenix. So I told you a lot about what I didn't like. What did I like? I felt like they consistently stayed with letting the lesser known mutants kind of shine. And it was not a very Wolverine heavy arc, for example. And I love Wolverine, but I mean, come on, how many arcs have you seen where he's like, oh, Wolverine's here, we're good now? I have to say, enjoyed the wedding special. I typically just don't like the voices ones, and it's nothing to do with the causes. Again, it's just that I feel like Marvel, DC does it too, but Marvel uses some of these social issues and whatnot to just make more money. I moved them as Marvel ones because I actually didn't read that. Uncanny Number 700, the conclusion, I have to say, was very good. They did avoid a couple things I was afraid of. Krakoa is not rewritten or forgotten, at least not yet. Krakoa still exists, and I like that it exists without the X-Men. I have some thoughts on that. I'm thinking about doing a whole separate video on that, but you know as well I do, sometimes I think of stuff and it just never makes it to recording. If you didn't know that, welcome to the channel. I do like how, even though Apocalypse, I don't want to say he flipped. I mean, Apocalypse did what Apocalypse did, and it was very Apocalypse of him. But very, very cool nonetheless. I did read X-Men #1. I thought it was okay. Oh, I should say, so the entire Fall of Krakoa, I'm going to rate as borderline between meh and good. I'll just say good to be nice. Same thing with X-Men #1. Though it's a little bit more meh than good, so I'll rate it as a meh, to be honest with you. I don't like Ryan Stegman's art in this, to be honest with you. It's just too, I don't know, there's a quality in it that I don't like. I don't know if it's maybe too cartoony, and that's just my taste. If you like him, great. All day and every day you can get this. For me, it kind of drew me out. It felt a little too much like me, like an older kind of 90s X-Men book to me, and that's what I was kind of afraid of. Reading some of the interviews with Ravoot, the new editor-in-chief, Tom Ravoot, I'm probably saying his name wrong, kind of made me a little bit leery. it's okay. We'll see where it goes. Why don't we say that? I'm taking a break for X-Men for a second. Rare Flavors number 5, the conclusion. 6, excuse me, the conclusion. Um, Thought it was just okay, to be honest with you. This was a series that I really enjoyed to a point. I do think they stretched it just a little bit. And the final chapter just wasn't very satisfying, at least in my opinion. What was a good final chapter, here's the segue, and going back to X-Men, was the Wolverine Madripoor Knights conclusion. This was a rare fill-in issue, or fill-in series, I guess you could say. I called them 5-issue, retro series. Chris Claremont doing the writing. This takes place somewhere, I guess, in the late 80s, early 90s, around that time in the X-Men Marvel lore. Really good. Yeah, it was nice to see Shinobi Shaw kind of in action a little bit again. I was really, really satisfied. I think that's probably the best of those 5-issue kind of nostalgia series that I've read. Picking up right after that was Wolverine Deep Cut, number 1, again by Claremont. It's the same artist, too, I believe. Is it? Let's see. Salazar. Yeah, same team, Salazar and Lopez. It was good, but not as good as Madripoor Knights. And this, I thought this was going to be a one-shot. Apparently, this is a series in itself. So I'll be ready for the next part of it. A little gorier than expected. I'm kind of surprised they don't have a parental... Oh, they do have a parental advisory thing on there. I'm surprised it's not bigger. Why don't we say that? And the last thing I read, again, it's an X-Men book. Life of Wolverine, number 1. This is a one-shot. Very, very well done. This is a great book, whether you know Wolverine and like Wolverine or know nothing about Wolverine, because it's a very comprehensive and well done and well explained history. They kind of took out a lot of the goofy things. The only thing that I don't know if this is wrong or if I just always understood it as wrong, is that they had what's her face? Mariko, I had to look it up, die prior to was it prior to World War One? Maybe I just read it wrong, maybe because I was too tired. I might be wrong. I thought the way they had presented it was that she died before World War One, but looking back through it, I am incorrect, I believe. I'm just flipping through it to see, did somebody else die and I confused it. They do the doc and stuff very well. And I won't edit this just because I'm going to be lazy about it. All right, so maybe I just read it out of order somehow. Okay, hold on. Here's... Oh, no, not Mariko, Silver Fox. I always assumed that Silver Fox was killed more in the modern day, but the way they present it here is that she was killed prior to World War One. So I don't know if I just misunderstood it up until now, or if they put it in the wrong spot, or if they're kind of reshuffling the history, because I'll say this, in the back, they do a very good job of referencing the material, but what I was kind of shocked to see, they do show Hulk 181 a little bit later on, but they show the first glimpse, they say, of Wolverine before Origin was Hulk 180. So it's like a 360, I guess you could say, of what Marvel has adopted over the past couple of years. All right, I went a little bit longer than I typically want to do for these things. It took me a little while to sort out my thoughts on Life of Wolverine 1. Overall, that was the best of it. I'm going to actually deem that as a must-read. Again, it works so well because whether you like Wolverine or whether you have no information on him, you're covered here. And let me know if you're watching this, by the way, if I was wrong about Silver Fox. In fact, when you do hashtag Silver Fox, you get an entry into the Road to 1K giveaway. Some stuff going on with that. I might have to discuss if I can't figure some stuff out, but stay tuned for that. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.